Championship club Coventry City recently sacked one of the longest-serving managers in English football, that being their now former coach Mark Robins, to the fury of the Sky Blues faithful. Chairman Doug King explained at a fan meeting that, quote, "The reason why I have made this decision is that he, Mark Robins, has dismantled the coaching staff at this football club. I haven't dismantled it, he has done that. That's the thing people don't realise. They think I am doing lots of things with my spider's web and all these things, and it's strictly, absolutely not true." So, Mark Robins is no longer the Coventry City manager, a club he'd been at the helm of since 2017. If you've never heard of Coventry City's story, then sit back, as we're about to take you on a long journey. Mark Robins was reappointed for his second spell as Coventry City manager in 2017, where Coventry were almost finished as a footballing entity. His appointment at the time may not have been that fulfilling to fans and supporters, but quite frankly, Coventry needed Mark Robins. And Mark Robins needed Coventry. Robins had really not done well as a manager up until this point, having lasted 2 seasons at Scunthorpe United, then taking a year out of the game. Robins had managed Coventry before for 1 season between 2012 and 2013, where he took them to the EFL Trophy final before leaving for Huddersfield Town. When Robins joined Coventry, they were rock bottom of League One, having replaced Russell Slade in March of 2017, destined for relegation. It was a deal beyond the end of that season. He went on to make an immediate impact, though, winning the EFL Trophy 2-1 against Oxford United. The Sky Blues owners at the time were Sisu Group, a controversial name to any Coventry City supporter. They were never exactly flavour of the month with these supporters. Robins gained promotion in his first season back at Coventry City from League 2 to League 1. It became the club's first top 6 finish in 48 years, and strangely enough, their first promotion in 51 years, as the club beat Exeter City that season in the 2017-2018 League 2 playoff final at Wembley. What was more remarkable was the shoestring budget that this was achieved on. And whilst Coventry City are a big city team and have a healthy fan base, years prior they'd lost their home stadium, forced out of the city to Northampton, nearly folded, and somehow they survived. The tenacity of the club's supporters has to be admired and should really be studied by other football supporters. The club was about to repay the fans in kind for their support. 2 seasons after promotion from League 2, Coventry City gained promotion again under Mark Robins, this time to the Championship, as the Sky Blues won the COVID-affected League 1 title, winning on the points per game basis. That also saw my club, Luton Town, win the League 2 title as well. This was also a season that Sisu, the club's owners, had once again got kicked out of their stadium, with rugby club Wasps taking on the permanent tenancy of the now Coventry Building Society Stadium, or then, as it was known, the Ricoh Arena. From 2019 to 2021, instead, they were exiled not to Northampton this time, but to Birmingham and St Andrew's Stadium, the home of Birmingham City. Coventry City finished 16th in the 2020-21 Championship season, a great achievement, remembering that the club wasn't spending to keep itself in the league. The 21-22 season would see the club once again move back to Coventry, and the CBS Arena, now called that, was the Ricoh Arena, which was still owned by Wasps Rugby. Robins' side had shown even more quality in achieving mid-table, finishing the following year of 12th. And at this point, Coventry's history of being homeless and nearly out of business, the supporters might have been happy with a mid-table finishing the Championship. However, Mark Robins, he wasn't. I say this because the following season, a battle of 2 miracle clubs took place at Wembley Stadium in the Championship playoff final as third place Luton Town took on fifth place Coventry City for a spot in the big time, the Premier League. To say it was a dream situation for both clubs is an understatement. They were both Cinderella stories, and quite frankly, I think a lot of football fans, I included, would have liked to have seen both teams go up. But only one of them could, and unfortunately, it was not Coventry City. Their remarkable rise from League Two to the Championship playoff final, only outdone by Luton Town's story of being effectively kicked out the Football League and then coming back to get promoted to the Premier League. Interrupting myself here, but if you want to know more about the Luton Town story, we did a video on that called The Club That Survived. It's linked in the I bits on the video. Ultimately, for Coventry City, the Cinderella story did go to Luton, who would unfortunately get relegated after only one season in the Premier League, but they didn't spend an awful lot of money to stay in the Premier League, and quite frankly, it will go, that money, towards their new stadium as they look to leave the ancient Kenilworth Road. Back to Coventry, because City may not have been promoted that season, but there was good news for Sky Blues faithful in 2023, and that was the end of Sisu's ownership of Coventry City as local businessman Doug King took over, and it was around this time the CBS Arena also came back into play as Wasps Rugby had effectively gone under, leaving the stadium without a primary tenant. Unfortunately, the club and King failed in their attempt to buy the stadium, which was bought out by Mike Ashley's Fraser's Group, and although it has led to some long-term stability for Coventry City as they are the primary tenants now, and there has been renovation in terms of the home dressing room as well. They have a kind of medium-term lease on the ground, although there was some concern when Fraser's Group took over that Coventry City might be kicked out of the stadium. And there were reports at the time that Mike Ashley was trying to buy the whole thing, so the club as well. The 2023-24 season proved to be a tougher ask for Mark Robins' side in Coventry City. They achieved a 9th place finish, missing out on the playoffs by 9 points. That ultimately, speedrun, brings us to the here and now, with Coventry City having won 4, drawn 3 and lost 7, and lying close to the relegation zone. Since then, the caretaker manager took charge and they've drawn a match with Sunderland, which means that they're currently 17th in the Championship table. The rumour is that Frank Lampard is about to become Coventry City manager, although Ruud van Nistelrooy, the ex-Manchester United player and coach and former PSV manager, could also be in the running for the job, but it looks like it is Frank Lampard's to lose. Mark Robins' tenure as Coventry City boss may be over, but I, for one, don't think the city of Coventry will ever forget Mark Robins and the journey that club has been on under his leadership. If you like this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up as well, and hit the bell icon to be notified of all our latest videos. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to check out our website. It's deadair.media/sport for the latest football news. See you next time.